All right, lots of excitement in the sports world with the World Cup happening right now, but maybe nothing bigger than the NBA Finals. We've got Brandon Smith here with us, our resident Knicks expert. Brandon, tell me what you were thinking. The Spurs went up 29, under 10 minutes to go in that game last night. How did the Knicks come back?
Man, let me tell you, there was never a doubt. Never a doubt in my mind. Because if you've been watching the Knicks all season, you know that first and foremost, more than anything else, they're a fourth quarter team. There is no game that they've been out of, no game that they will ever be out of, as long as they have Jalen Brunson, last year's clutch player of the year, this year also coming through in the clutch. We saw it last round versus Cleveland, coming back from that 22-point deficit in 7 minutes, and then we saw it again last night. And at some point, you just got to stop doubting it and just believe that they're never out of any game.
The Cardiac Knicks certainly are continuing to thrive here in the playoffs. That a lot of drama late. That Josh Hart missed layup looked like it might be a dagger for a little bit, after that comeback really sparked. The De'Aaron Fox layup, though, I mean, what happened right there? I think that's just a mistake that even a high school level basketball team you wouldn't expect to see. But walk me through your emotions seeing that play.
Yeah, listen, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I've been an athlete throughout my life, and sometimes there are those just super quick boom, boom, bop plays that you can't really anticipate what's happening. You don't really have time to think. You're just moving out there. You're hustling. And that's kind of what that play said to me. He got the ball. His first instinct was to score. Sometimes you don't have time to think about where you are in the game and what's going on and within the context of the score and everything else that's happening. Plus, Fox, one of the fastest players, one of the most athletic players in the league, you see him on a fast break, you're thinking layup every time. Just so happens that this time he had an NBA all-defensive player trailing behind him. I think on most other guys, he does make that layup. So to give him the benefit of the doubt there, that said, very low IQ basketball decision. And that's what put the nail in the coffin for them for sure.
Well, and the man that made that defensive play, also the man that made the tip-in at the very end, the tip-in heard around the world, it seems like at this point. OG Anunoby, what a player. I mean, he's been with the Knicks for, 3 or 4 years now, I think?
Yeah.
And if this series keeps trending the way that it is, he is going to be a Knicks legend forever. Walk me through that play. What were you thinking when that Jalen Brunson goes up to take the three-pointer, and you're just thinking, oh, this is going to be another Jalen Brunson moment. Lo and behold, OG Anunoby.
And I think you put it perfectly before when you said the tip heard around the world, because I actually saw a video on social media where you could hear Knicks fans cheering after the tip all the way across the river in New Jersey from New York. I'm pretty sure I woke up a few of my neighbors myself when that tip went in, so definitely a very good way to put it. But man, I thought when I saw that ball clank off the front iron, I just thought, it's over. It's over. That Hart layup was really going to hurt us. We weren't going to be able to come back from it. I don't think anybody in the world could have anticipated what happened there. And, it's for that reason, just I personally think, we'll get into this more later, that he's the MVP of the series.
Now, 29-point lead. That was the biggest blown lead in finals history by the Spurs last night. One of the main differences, in my opinion, backcourt play. Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, 42 points, 13 rebounds, 13 assists to only 5 turnovers. And also, combined, they shot nearly 50% from the field with two of not the biggest guards in the league. De'Aaron Fox and Stephon Castle, on the other hand, they put up 31, 10, and 12 combined, 7 turnovers, 8 of 23 from the field, not as great. How big has the Knicks' backcourt been in this series in making a difference? Because you think Wembanyama, Karl Anthony Towns, two of the best big men in the league, they're just going to be going at it. But then Towns gets in foul trouble early. He's not able to play throughout much of the first quarter. How big was the backcourt in getting this comeback going for you guys?
Well, I think that all goes back to Brunson, just because we've seen him be stifled offensively through the first 3 quarters of multiple of these games. But as you expect from Mr. Clutch himself, he always comes through in the fourth. And I think that's been the difference maker. Jalen Brunson has shown the most poise of any player on the court, regardless of whether or not his shot is falling the rest of the game. And I think you see that difference in experience here between him and the younger guys like Castle and even a veteran like Fox, in that, sometimes the moment's just been too big for the Spurs, and I think that's what made the main difference.
Well, they are the second youngest team to ever make the NBA Finals. I believe the 1977 Trailblazers, different era, are number one. Now, teams that are down 3-1 have a 15 and 288 record in the playoffs overall when they go down. In the finals, that record goes to 1 and 37, with that one exception being one of the most notable sports memories that I think many NBA fans have.
I'd say so.
What is it going to take for the Spurs to have a chance to get back in this series, or do you think there's any pathway for it?
I don't think there is. I think mentally there's just too much adversity there. You know, you blow a 29-point lead, biggest in finals history, especially for a young team like this, it's demoralizing. And, you know, I would be surprised if they came out swinging Saturday night. I think Saturday night's going to be it. I think that's going to be the last game. I don't think they get another game here. But what about yourself?
You know, I think Wembanyama, the youth just needs to grow up, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen in the next 3 games in this series. It's just hard for me to see it happening. So I'm on the same page as you. You never know when you have a 7'4" alien on your team, anything can happen. But going back to the Finals MVP conversation, I think Jalen Brunson is just really hard to beat. You know, not only has he been incredible in this series, but he's been the heartbeat of the Knicks ever since he got traded from Dallas. He took a pay cut to stay with the team. I mean, compared to other superstars in the league, he's not making a whole lot of money, and he's still just killing it. So I don't know. Would there be somebody else that you think has a good shot?
Well, as I said earlier, I think Anunoby is my MVP. And look, I've been watching the Knicks all season. I think if you look back at the season as a whole, Brunson is far and away our MVP. He's the one who got us to this point. He's the one who's been carrying us through the clutch in this series. But when you just look at the narrative and everything that goes with it, like OG dropped 33 this past game, in addition to the game-saving block and the game-winning tip-in. Couple that with last game, also had an amazing offensive performance. He's the best defender on our team. I just don't see how you can make a case for anyone else.
I think that's fair. We'll see what happens here. Now, just to kind of cap things off, what would a championship mean to the city of New York? It's been, almost over 30 years, over 50 years since the Knicks have won a championship, 1973. The Spurs beat them in 1999. We've got a rematch going on from that. Maybe some get their get back a little bit there. But what is the fan reaction going to look like in New York?
Now, listen, I'm not personally from New York. However, my entire family is from Queens, Jamaica Heights, literally aunts, uncles, parents, everything. I've been rooting for the Knicks since I was in 5th grade, and I can tell you the things we have suffered through this past decade and a half, nothing comes close. I don't think there's been a more tortured fan base in any sport over the past few decades. So to see this come to fruition, not only for the team, but for that city, I think the city might collapse in on itself. I don't know if there will be a city left the next morning if they do come out on top. So I think it's just, for this fan base, it would mean the world and a heck of a lot more.
Well, we've already seen Timothy Chalamet taking his shirt off, so who knows what will happen next. We'll keep you guys updated with everything going on in the sports world and the NBA Finals as things progress here. But reporting from Fox 54, this is Brandon Smith and Gray Barbee working for you.